Heroscape Embers of War story arc. I'm going to open them in order from least favorite to favorite after I open accessories and then terrain packs first. We are going to take a look at everything in this wave. I will give time for you to pause on the army cards if you want to do such a thing, but I'm just going to give a cursory look at what's inside each box. First up is the Valhalla dice tray, and it comes with a set of 10 dice and a d20. It's like orangish, reddish kind. It's not like the Revna dice where it looks like meat, but it looks like sepia or cream and orange and red or something like that. Here is the back of the case. Comes with the dice tray, 10 combat dice, and a 20-sided die. Here is the dice tray size as compared to an 11.5-inch dice tray that I already have. And here is the dice tray dice as compared to a Revna-themed die in the middle and an Utgar-themed die on the right. Here's the dice tray as compared to a LEGO Avengers tower that's fully built. Alright, the first terrain pack we're going to open is the Ruin at Laur's Edge. And this is stackable walls, unlike the Age of Annihilation Master set, which does not have stackable walls. This comes with 5 big walls, 5 small walls, 1 arch, 4 ruin end pieces, 6 wall connectors, 4 triangular wall connectors, and 10 base connectors. Thunk. In my left hand is going to be one of the new Laur walls, and in my right is one of the old. One of the main differences is this is one of the Age of Annihilation Master Set walls, and here is the Ruins at Laur's Edge. They have the connectable spot. Now, while no connection can be made on the base, you can connect to the new walls from the old ones. Comes with the center, I guess, hook pieces that connect the walls. Comes with ruined edge pieces. Comes with an open archway. Comes with solid walls. And it comes with triangular walls that let you change up the actual angle of the wall on the map itself. Here's the dice tray as compared to 2 fully charged Ego 56-volt batteries. The next terrain set is the Roads of Valhalla. This one comes with 16 single-hex road pieces, 2 5-hex road pieces, 4 short walls, and 1 rule sheet. And just like the Ruins at Laur's Edge, it looks like it's just bagged up. It's the single-hex road pieces. Here is a comparison of a new road tile on the left and an old road tile on the right. Here is the 5-hex road piece that makes bridge building a little easier. Here is a new short wall bridge piece. Here is an old short wall bridge piece. Note that the top has less lines and no red for when you're drawing line of sight. So you'll draw a line of sight from these lines, but you just don't have the other lines in between that. And there's no red paint on this one. And then, of course, you've got your rules sheet. Here's the dice tray as compared to a plastic glittery party purple fedora. And now we are going to open up the Embers of War Greatbow Archers and Scions of Icaria pack. I don't like either of these things in terms of aesthetics. I don't like how they look. I really don't like how these look. This might be the worst thing, in my opinion, that has come out in terms of how it looks and the art. And I don't really like how they play either. Anyway, that's my opinion being forced upon these units. Here is the back of the box. And it is supposed to be, I guess, tiny versions of the same breed of dragon as Mimring, the same breed as Nilfheim, and the same breed as Braxis. I like how these play. I don't like their molds. have the miniatures and the army cards. No insert in this box. And here is, so far, my least favorite piece of art in this game, the Scions of Icaria. I don't really have anything good to say about this, but rather than tear into it, I will just say here's the army card, holding for a few seconds so you can pause and screenshot if you want. And here is the army card of the Greatbow archers. Alright, here's a look at the miniatures. There's this little bronze copperish one eating some sort of tiny lizard. Then we have the black one. That one is the least visually off-putting to me. And then we have the little white one. And now for the Greatbow archers. And the reason I don't really like their sculpt, well, number one, their haircuts, but number two, they have eyes, and I really don't like the fact that they have painted eyes. But here are the two members of the Greatbow Archer Squad, who are apparently dragon hunters. And here is them compared to a Scion of Icaria. But that box is a 3-figure squad and a 2-figure squad. Here's the dice tray as compared to a dusty Sega Genesis with General Chaos game cartridge. Next up, we have the Deflectatron. Looks a little goofy to me. It looks like some bionicle masks on this thing. And here's the reverse side of the box. This is the promotional figure for this wave, and it is a common figure. So this is one of the promotion figures that you're going to want to keep multiples of if you get it. And no insert as well, but it does have the army card. Here is the Deflectatron's army card. And here is the miniature itself. It is 3 heads, 3 arms, 3 legs. I don't know, not too bad. This looks like a symbol from the board game Titan. Okay, not an exact comparison, but I know why they went with 3 arms. Here is the dice tray as compared to a selection of cereals, including Frankenberry, Honey Bunches of Oats, and Honey O's. Next up, we have Raelin the Kyrie Warrior, the 4th iteration of this character, for some reason. This is the promo for, it was the end of Boiling Tension, but I'm slapping it in on the Embers of War unboxing because it is also an organized play promo for this story arc. It came out the last story arc because of Gen Con, which I also have as an example. Some of these frosted plastic acrylic dice, sometimes mistakenly called glass, they're not. And also her World Champion foiled army card, which is plastic, has a foiled effect for some of the silver on it, oftentimes mistakenly called holographic. There's nothing holographic on this card. July 31st, 2025. Now, while Boiling Tension is still the story arc that's going on and the Embers of War is the October release, because Raelin is going to be included as a organized play kit promo during Embers of War, I'm opening her in the Embers of War video. So here's a look at the Raelin the Kyrie Warrior promotional figure. This one came from the World Championship at Gen Con 2025. And we've got inside the box, well, first, the reverse side of the box. And then we have the inside. Take a look at her army card. And here is her army card. I'll hold that for about 5 more seconds. And then here is the gold-based World Championship version of her. So, get my gross hands out of the video. Pretty decent paint job. The paint jobs on these miniatures have definitely increased in quality. She's got little Namor the Submariner wings on her boots. That's Raelin the Kyrie Warrior promotional figure. And I believe that all promotional figures from here on out Thyraxis Dragoon and Decker the Burrowbreaker were exceptions. They are all going to be pre-painted because they tried the unpainted and I don't think it worked. But as of now, we know that the upcoming promos, Deflectatron and such, are all pre-painted. So I think that is back to being the norm. And here is the brown base version of Raelin the Kyrie Warrior, which I actually prefer because it's more consistent with the other figures. Here is the dice tray as compared to a Sony Dream Machine alarm clock. Next up is going to be the Heroes of Arboreas expansion. I'm not a big fan of furry animals and stuff. This box is okay in terms of coolness. It is better than Raelin and the Deflectatron, and miles beyond the Scions of Kyrie. It's got some neat looking figures in it, but woodland stuff isn't really my style. Here is the back of the box. And more army cards. Again, no insert. Now for some pronunciation butchering, but here's Haluchat, Corruptor of Beasts, and a few seconds on the army cards. You can pause it. These are available on Heroscape.com. That's why I don't go over these in detail, but you can find the information there. Next up, we have Marachat the Mind Whisperer. We have Vrono the Brambletooth. Garushia Grove Keeper. Chana the Zenith Wing, or Zenith Wing. I don't know, nor do I really care. All I know is Garushia, Haluchat, Rakchat, Marachat, and all those. They sound like you're stirring a bowl of macaroni when you say all their names. The first miniature is this weirdly giant Haluchat. Like, this thing's really big. For example, we will go to Marachat next to that figure. Here's Vrono the Brambletooth. Garushia Grove Keeper. Looks like something from Pacific Rim. Then we've got Chana the Zenith Wing, the six-winged dodo. Fun fact not related to Heroscape, when I played Ark Survival Evolved, I would capture every dodo I came across and name them all some variation of the word Vin Diesel. Like Van Diesel, Veen Diesel, Vin Diesel, etc. And years later, Vin Diesel is in the trailer for Ark Survival Evolved 2? I don't know the title. Anyway, unrelated, and I don't know if that game's ever coming out. Here's the dice tray as compared to a messy paint station. Next up, and this box is only near the final ones being opened because of the Dreadnoughts of Caraway Cavern or New Tortuga or whatever they were called, the Dreadnoughts squad, because this, not historical at all, steampunk sci-fi pirate, I don't like, the Crimson Widow. Here is the back of the box. We've got the figures, and the army cards, and I believe there's only ever an insert if there is a special rule with the figure or terrain. First up, Crimson Widow. Then the Dreadnoughts of Caraway Cavern. I know a user who has been waiting for these for a long time. The miniature for Crimson Widow, again, has eyes, not a fan. No, it rocks a little bit. Game's ruined. And then, astonishingly close to their Avalon Hill Gen Con 2022 premiere, back when Avalon Hill had control of the game, the paint scheme for these, done by the artist who did the display, is very close to this. These are the Dreadnoughts of Caraway Cavern, and Arboreas is probably quite pleased. Here's the reverse side of these. Pretty good paint jobs. Here is the Heroscape dice tray as compared to a Heroscape dice tray. September 24th, 2025. I don't know if Arboreas has them yet, but the wait is over. You've been waiting for these figures for a long time. Not this one. You've been waiting for these figures for a long time, so I'm glad you finally got them. And the final box for the Embers of War story expansion, the Krakenling and nobody really agrees on how to pronounce these, but the Gelyrie Vanguards. These are my favorite of this wave. I love how this squad plays. I like how they look. I don't like this weird thing, but it does play pretty fun. So, gameplay mechanics can overrule aesthetic, but these have both for me. And we've got the army expansion with some army cards and the miniatures. First up, the Krakenling. Then the Gelyrie Vanguards. Or Gelyrie, or Gelyrie, or Water Valkyrie, or Water Kyrie, I don't know. Here is the Krakenling miniature, which thankfully does not have pupils on the eyes, so the eyes are a little more tolerable with this thing. Has almost in person nearly metallic shine to this green, nearly jade type shell that it has. And then we got this squad of bad boys ready for action. Probably my favorite release in terms of gameplay thus far. They're pretty neat. And finally, here is the Heroscape dice tray as compared to a standard size residential house. I've got a bit of a mess to clean up after taking some photos for the Discord and everything, but this was the final release for 2025, the story arc Embers of War. It dropped all at once and does not have separate waves. On October 3rd, 2025, we get the next Renegade Con, and we will see the first of the 2026 releases and story arcs. The only thing I know for 100% fact is they said a new era is beginning, which is Secrets of the Citadel, so Age of Annihilation is wrapping up. I don't think this is the final Age of Annihilation. I know it is the final release for all of the Avalon Hill created figures that we saw in the failed Haslab campaign. So from here on out, it's what Renegade has designed, or if there was any leftover stuff from behind the scenes that we don't know about, we shall see.